What is up, guys? Eric here, Team Eccentric, and I'm excited to finally bring you guys my current Mermail deck list post Rage of the Abyss. So we got new support, obviously, for the deck, and that's really why I haven't posted in a little while. It's probably been like, what, a month or two since I posted, only because I've been waiting for this stuff to come out. I do have other decks I could have profiled, you know, Infernoble, Heroes, Raid Raptors, Marincest. There's so many decks that I own that I could have profiled, but I figured I would wait until I got the Mermail support so I could update this deck finally and show you guys how I'm utilizing the new support. So I will just start getting right into it, and I apologize if you guys notice I am a little under the weather. It's starting to get a little colder here in Buffalo, so yeah, I'm a little under the weather, guys, but I will still bring you guys this profile. So starting it off, we have triple Neptibus, the Atlantean Prince. That is kind of obligatory, obviously. Best card in the deck. It opens all your play lines. It does everything for the deck, pretty much. It sends one Atlantean as cost to add one Atlantean, and then if it's sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, you can target one Atlantean in your graveyard and special summon it. I mean, you can literally open it. I mean, before, the Neptibus wasn't able to do a one-card combo after Halki Fibrax got banned, because you know, you would only be able to add. You'd send Dragoons, add Dragoons, and then add another Sea Serpent, and that wouldn't necessarily be enough to get your water plays going unless you had another water monster in your hand, and even then you'd probably be adding like a Megalo in order to, you know, try and build an advantage that way. But you know, Neptibus has really gained a lot of ability with the new support to, you know, craft boards of oppressive negation and really, really good interaction. So it's a really, really strong card. Moving forward, we have triple Atlantean Dragoons, of course, the ulties, because they're gorgeous. We all know what Atlantean Dragoons does. It's not once per turn. When it's sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, you can add one Sea Serpent monster from your deck to your hand. It does have an on-field effect, but that on-field effect is generally relevant. All level 3 or lower Sea Serpent monsters you control can attack directly. Never really relevant, but you know, it's there in case. Also, we have one Atlantean Heavy Infantry. This is just here as a means of disruption during your opponent's turn. You generally add this at the end of your combo. When you get some of the new cards in your graveyard, or you get some late monsters on board that can discard it during your opponent's turn. It also gives you an additional normal summon, although that doesn't really come up as much in these builds. So yeah, moving forward, we have one Abyss Rhine, the Atlantean Spirit. This is one of the new cards. This card is ridiculous. So what it does is, you can tribute this and one Mermail or Atlantean that you control or in your hand to either take one level 7 Sea Serpent, Fish, or Aqua and either add it to your hand or special summon it to your field. So a lot of people are generally playing 3 of this because it does play very well through hand traps. And also it allows you to get into the Super Ancient Deep Sea King Coelacanth or whatever, which I think is a very good line of play, but the thing is, I feel like that card itself is a brick, and I would rather play the least amount of bricks as possible in my deck. So, yeah. I'm only playing one. I feel like one is just fine. You don't need more than one. I mean, one will do exactly what you need it to do. It also has another effect where if it's in the graveyard during your opponent's turn, you can banish it and then discard one card from your hand to the graveyard and then draw one card. So you can see how the interruption comes from having this in the graveyard with this in your hand, and you can also draw cards. So you're cycling cards out as well. But yeah, so this build, by the way, is not the water pile that basically everybody else is playing with the Deep Sea King Coelacanth and all that other stuff. I mean, I am playing some of the other newer cards like the Virtue Dragon and all that stuff. I am playing that, but I'm not playing the Deep Sea King Coelacanth and and you know, multiple pikes and things like that. I feel like, you know, just playing a water pile, it doesn't really suit this deck in my opinion. I'd rather play the deck pure and, you know, kind of utilize the combo pieces that Mermail allows. So we are playing triple Mermail Abyss, one of the strongest starters. If you are playing Osha, this card becomes a 1.5 card combo, although again, I am not playing Osha because I feel like it is a bit of a brick. I would rather not draw the Osha and then like no way to actually utilize it. I mean, I did test a lot of these builds that a lot of people are doing. You know, a lot of people are using these other builds with like the Mermail Abyss Osha and the Deep Sea King Coelacanth and 3 Pike and 3 Abyss Rhine. And to be honest with you, I didn't really care for them. I mean, the deck still works just fine without all that stuff. So yeah. But Abyss, you discard one water monster from your hand to the graveyard's cost, special summon it, and then when it's special summoned in that way, you can add one level 4 or lower Mermail. Really, really strong. Gets all your combo lines going. Then we have one of the other new card for the main deck, Mermail Shadow Squad. This card is nuts. So when this card is discarded for cost to activate a water monster's effect, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Atlantean or Mermail from your deck. And also, while this is on the field, you can discard one card from your hand to the graveyard as cost to make all water monsters on your field that have levels become level 7. So it bridges your way into the rank 7 plays. It special summons a Dragoons or a Neptunus or whatever you need from your deck. It does everything. What's nice about this card too is that it gives us another good water card to discard off of a lot of our effects, because before we had to rely on seeing Minstrel Dragoons or Neptunus or Deep Sea Diva, and this card just allows you to get into your combo pieces really, really quickly. So yeah, this card is pretty nutty. I play 3 of it. You know, I was testing 2 of it at one point, but honestly, that's not enough. I think 3 is really, really optimal. You want to see it. You want to see it. You know, it's an optimal discard because you're just getting more lines through it. And the deck, what's cool about the deck too is that these cards, the new support, this is a Mermail and this is an Atlantean, but they're treated as the corresponding archetypes as well. So like, this is actually treated as a Mermail card, and this is always treated as an Atlantean. So you can actually add this off of your Teus, and you can send this off of your Neptunus, which is how a lot of the combo lines tend to go. It's really, really cool. So then from there, we're playing one Mermail Abyss Megalo. This actually has kind of become a bit more relevant. I mean, for a long time, Megalo really wasn't all that great. A lot of people actually ended up cutting it from their lists. And even to this day, people are cutting it from the list here and there. But I feel it's a bit more of a threat now, because if you have 2 waters and you discard this, you can search the new equip spell, which is effectively a Monster Reborn. And that just allows you to build more, you know, oppressive boards, which is really, really nice. So, and the plus it's a level 7, so it obviously bridges your way into your rank 7 plays, which bridges your way into your big combo line. So, next, this is going to be kind of controversial considering how everybody else is kind of playing the deck. I'm playing one Mermail Abyss Pike. I don't see the reason for playing multiple Pikes because they are normal summons, and I would rather my normal summon go to either Neptunus or Deep Sea Diva. The Mermail Abyss Pike I would prefer to summon off of the Shadow Squad. However, it is a suboptimal normal summon, but it is still a normal summon that you could use, given that that's the card you draw. It's still really decent, but I would prefer to just play one of it and then try and summon it off of the Shadow Squad for combo. Then we are playing one Mermail Abyss Gund. This card, I feel like is here and there. It's still pretty good. If you have good lines with it, you know how to sequence your plays correctly. This card can actually be really, really strong and just bringing back a Mermail and overlaying into a rank 7 and doing some crazy shit. So this card's really, really cool. So that's it for the Mermail, the cards that are Mermail by name. Moving forward, I apologize for my nasal issue, guys. Right now, I'm really under the weather. But moving forward, this is another controversial take that a lot of people probably disagree with, but I am still playing the triple Deep Sea Diva. I feel like this card is still a relevant starter. I don't see why somebody would cut this card. I mean, I understand that it does lose to hand traps, but it's copies of Neptunus number 4, 5, and 6. I mean, you want to get to Neptunus. That's essentially what the deck does. You want to see Neptunus as soon as possible. Neptunus gets all your lines going, gets all your plays, gets all your advantage. Neptunus is one of the strongest cards in the deck, and this gets you to Neptunus, and you want to see it. I mean, yes, it does lose to hand traps, but there are ways around that. I mean, Deep Sea, and even if they had a hand trap and you just normal summoned a Pike or a Neptunus, you were going to get hand trapped anyway, so Deep Sea Diva, it is what it is. I mean, I feel like there's no sense in changing the deck more than it needs to be changed. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, people can disagree with me. There are successful lists out there that are not playing Diva, but I just think that I value seeing Neptunus as soon as possible. So, next we are playing Triple Deep Sea Minstrel. A lot of people have actually cut this down to 1 in their list as well. But I, again, like to rip cards out of my opponent's hand. And I like to see that my opponent has an Nibiru and take it out, so that way I can continue with my string of plays. This card is still really, really good. Plus, it does gain a little bit more relevance with the fact that the new Xyz monster, Poseidra Abyss, the Atlantean Dragon Lord, actually summons this back off of its grave effect, and you can make synchro plays with it. So that's the thing. So that's it for that. And then the last two water monsters in the main deck are Mooling Glacier, obviously, and one Armored Shark. The Armored Shark is here because I am playing the Armor Fortress, which I did say that I wasn't playing like a water pile with like all the random water support. But this just allows me to get into the Mooling Glacier line, and as well as it allows me to build this really, really strong board. So like it can also equip to like one of your toads and give it an extra 500 attack. It's just a really decent extender. So that is it for the water monsters in the main deck. Next, we are going into the non-engine monsters. So we're playing Triple Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This is, in theory, really good because of Molcharmy. I mean, you really need to stop your opponent's Molcharmies because either one of the Molcharmies really kind of destroys this deck, just wipes the floor with it. And then we are playing two Molcharmy Fowalos. So Fowalos is basically maxi. I mean, there's no reason not to play it. If I had a third copy, I'd be playing it, but I do not own a third copy, so that is what it is. But that is it for the monsters in the main deck. Now moving on to the spell cards. We only have 4, which is surprising because we were playing quite a bit. I was testing Small Worlds, I was testing Pot of Prosperity, I was testing a lot of different cards in the main deck, but to be honest with you, keeping the spell count low kind of makes it more consistent. So we're playing one Abyss of Trinia. This card is the new one. You activate it, and you can special summon one Mermail or Atlantean monster from your hand or graveyard. And then also, if that card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. And also, if this is in your graveyard, you can banish it and target up to 3 Fish, Sea Serpent, or Aqua monsters banished or grave, and shuffle them back into the deck. So it cycles all your cards back into your deck, makes it so that your plays keep going. You know, you can keep going down those combo lines, keep rebuilding your board. It just allows for a lot of really, really good play. Then we have one Abyss Scale of the Mizuchi. I know a lot of people have cut this, actually, and I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Granted, it is somewhat of a brick, but you are playing more Mermail cards in your main deck. So, like that said, you know, Abyss Scale of the Mizuchi is sort of relevant, and with the new Mermail Link monster, it makes it that much better. I mean, you literally equip this from your deck during your turn. It gets, you know, it negates something, goes to the graveyard, and then during your turn, you say activate a Totally Awesome to tribute itself for cost to negate something, and then this triggers again. This basically triggers the Mermail Link 3, and then it re-equips to that Mermail, and then you have another spell negate. I think it's just way too strong not to play at least one copy. Even if you're just hiding it, I think just play one. I mean, it gets around Super Poly, which is a relevant card. It gets around Dark Ruler, Droplet. It gets around all those cards. Next, we are playing one for one. It's the 7th copy of Neptibus. Why not play it? And then one Called by the Grave, because you need to negate your opponent's hand traps. So that is it for the spells. Now we actually have a somewhat considerable line of trap cards in the main deck. So we are playing Triple Infinite Impermanence, and then we're playing double Dominus Impulse. Again, same thing. If I had a third copy, I'd play it, but I don't. So it is what it is. Dominus Impulse is basically Solemn Warning from the hand. It's absolutely cracked. The only thing is once you use it, you can't use Fowalos. However, you use the Fowalos first, and then you use this. That's how it's supposed to work, in my opinion. And last but not least, for the last trap card, this is a searchable engine-based trap card that basically becomes an Icarus attack. It is Virtue Stream, as we all know. If you've seen any of the modern Mermail lists, Virtue Stream is a really strong card. Allows you for multiple layers of disruption that just keep your opponent guessing as to what you're going to activate first. And, you just have so many different ways to keep your opponent off of what they're playing. It's really, really good. Next, extra deck. So we're playing one Mermail King Neptibus. This card is absolutely nutty. What this card does is, basically, first and foremost, the water monsters that it would point to with its link arrows cannot be targeted by card effects. Also, it has an effect where if a water monster is sent to the graveyard for cost while it's on the field, you can take one Abyss equip spell and either add it to your hand or equip it from your deck or graveyard. So you can take it from your hand or graveyard, or from your deck or graveyard, and either add it or equip it to this. So it allows you to keep recycling your equip spells. Really, really good. And then last but not least, if it's destroyed by your opponent's card, you can add one Atlantean or Mermail from your deck to your hand. So it's a really, really solid card. Then we have one Mermail Abyss Lacia. It's still a Mermail card. You still got to play it. I still think it's a relatively decent card. Even though it's kind of a flex spot, it's still one of the better Link 2 waters. Then we are playing one Zealantis for the Zealantis lock. I still like the Zealantis lock. It's still really, really strong. And I am playing 2 Coral Anemone to go with that. one for combo, one for Zealantis lock. I mean, I know a lot of people have Coral Anemone to 1, but I want to be able to keep recycling my water monsters and keep summoning them back. So that is it for the links. For the Xyz monsters, we're playing 1 Poseidra Abyss, the Atlantean Dragon Lord. This card is absolutely cracked. So in order to summon it, it takes 3 level 7s, or you can just summon it over 1 Mermail or Atlantean Xyz monster. Also, you can detach 2 materials from it and then either send 1 water monster from hand or deck to graveyard as cost to non-target bounce 3 cards your opponent controls back to the hand. That's one of its effects, and then its other effect, which is a non-once per turn effect, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can discard 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and then special summon 3 level 3 or lower sea serpent, fish, or aqua monsters from your hand to graveyard. So it just allows you to like soul charge effectively, which is absolutely nutty. So 1 of that, 1 Abyss Gaios, which turbos into your Poseidra Abyss. However, Abyss Gaios is still nothing to scoff at, in my personal opinion. I think this card is still nuts. We all know what Abyss Gaios does. It takes 2 level 7 water monsters. Also, while it has material, level 5 or higher monsters can't attack. And also, you can attach 1 material, and every monster on your opponent's field whose attack points are lower than it get negated at the time of activation. So it's really, really strong. Then we have 1 Xyz Armor Fortress for the Armored Shark. We have double Bahamut Shark, double Toad. We have 1 Abyss Dweller. Let me shift this over. We have 1 Abyss Dweller, and then we have 1 Lavirtue Dragon. So that's it for the Xyz monsters. The Lavirtue Dragon honestly adds a new dynamic to this deck. Just being able to search that Icarus attack in the form of Virtue Stream really does give this deck a different layer of disruption that it didn't have before, because before, the only back row disruption you had were like infinite impermanences, whatever trap cards you played, and then your Abyss equip spells. However, Lavirtue Dragon gives you the opportunity to search the Virtue Stream and use it so that if your opponent does manage to resolve Dark Ruler on you, you at least have that trap card to stop anything else that they would do. So that is it for the Xyz monsters. Then we have 1 Synchro monster, and that Synchro monster is Ice Jade, Gamir, Azurine. I am not playing the Ice Jade monster. I feel like, again, I'm playing like as pure of a Mermail Atlantean list as possible. And this card is only hit here because it applies pressure, and it's effectively that SP Little Knight for waters. That's 3,000 attack points. And the card is nuts. I've always loved the Ice Jade Azurine. I mean, the Ice Jades pair so well with the Atlanteans, it's actually ridiculous. So, yeah. That is it for my Mermail deck profile, guys. I appreciate the views you guys give us. I apologize for the lack of content. It's just been it's been a while waiting for this Mermail stuff, and that's all I've really been waiting for. And I apologize for being under the weather too, guys. I know my voice probably sounds very grating to the ears right now, considering that I'm like all stuffy and gross sounding. But I really wanted to get this profile out to you guys. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. I really appreciate the views you guys give us. If you disagree with any of my card choices, give me a reasoned, thought-out explanation in the comment section below that is respectful. Please don't go, oh, you're an idiot for not playing 3 Pikes. It's like, well, I mean, I would rather normal summon Diva and get to Neptumus. And if that means that I get hand-trapped, well, that's what Minstrel is for, you know what I mean? But, yeah, so that is my thought process behind the deck currently. I will be testing out some other versions. I might do, like, an Ice Jade Mermail Atlantean thing, or, like, whatever. Just kind of test out other stuff. But that is it. Eric here with Team Eccentric, and I'm signing out.